It's me, Zena, and I'm here with Shawn Kelley, writer and
Hello.
director. Hello, Shawn.
Hey.
Okay, so we're gonna wait for some people to join and stuff like that, but we can do some little small talk. We were talking about we're gonna dive into first before we dive into our top three list, which we're gonna have some bonuses.
Yep.
So, and then I also have some questions for you. Just your love for horror, your
Mm-hmm.
love for Asian horror, your love for filming and writing,
Yeah.
and what you've been watching lately. Before we before we went on air and stuff, I was trying to think about what I've been watching, and I have a letterbox account, and like I've been trying to put it to use, you know, and it's been hard updating it sometimes because you just forget because there's
Yeah.
just so many social medias and stuff.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Um. I use Letterbox pretty often, so I can just to keep track of what I've been watching. Sometimes I forget about entire
Yeah,
movies.
me too. Me too. And then on top of that too, like I was just even telling you, like non-horror related stuff, I'm still gonna put that in there anyway, but I don't really know how I can rate Bad Girls Club, like the different seasons, because it's
Yeah.
been on it's now on Hulu. They have like a couple of have you ever watched any episodes or no?
I've seen enough.
Yeah, yeah. Are you a fan? Would you go
I
on the show?
I can't say I don't know. It's very specific entertainment,
Yeah.
but I get the appeal. It's kind of crazy.
It is,
Yeah.
especially when you have some steam you want to blow off. Watch that show. But yeah, I would never personally go on Bad Girls Club, but I don't mind watching. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And plus, it's no more anymore. But just saying, could have been cool a little bit. It also reminded me of because something similar because it came on the same network. Bridezilla, remember that show? Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. We're going down a rabbit hole. So we're going to talk about our top three Asian horror movies. And with this list, we didn't want to go like a traditional type of route. Like, not saying that these movies are obscure or underrated, but sometimes you don't always hear about them. So at least that's the approach that I went. What's your approach?
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about like when people think of like Asian horrors, The Ring or The Grudge
Right.
and I didn't want to, even though I really like those movies, I didn't want
They're
to pick.
great.
Yeah, I didn't want to pick those because they've been talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True, true. So, how did your love for Asian horror come about?
It was like the early 2000s when I started going to horror conventions, and around that time you had the whole Tartan Asia Extreme line,
Mm,
and I remember just like blindly getting some of those movies and watching them, and they just felt like the scares, the atmosphere was like different from anything I had seen before, and
right.
really scared me. And I hadn't had that for a while, so I kind of latched onto it and ended up being kind of obsessed. And it's been really influential, even in the stuff that I make, even when
Hmm.
I don't notice it. People will point it out and say like that feels like a J horror sequence or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, like similar to you as well. I think I started watching Asian horror. It was either the late 90s or like the early 2000s because they were available
Yeah.
to check out. And I think one of the first ones I watched, I think it was The Grudge, I think, of Ju-on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and yeah, I felt like it was different, obviously, from other horror movies that I watched, and I wanted to watch them all from there.
Yeah. Well, I like about like Ju-on, it almost feels like a series of short
Hmm.
films with like a setup and a payoff with the scares,
Oh
and
yeah,
it's like addictive
so
to
true.
yeah.
And I don't know if this was the because I remember they used to have like a series, like a TV series or something. Juwan, or maybe it just felt like it, like you said.
Yeah.
But it was the one where this girl came. Okay, spoiler. I don't remember which one. This girl came home from school. She went to school normal. She came back with no jaw. You don't remember?
Yeah,
It was
that
just
was
gone.
I think that was in The Curse, which was like the TV or video version of The
Okay.
Curse before they made it into a movie.
Look at you. See, you know everything. You know things. So, but yeah, all right. And before again we dive into our list, we have to talk about what we've been watching lately. So you can start first because you're our guest. Hello.
Um, I watched the first two episodes of Chucky, and
Ooh.
I've been enjoying that. I like that series a lot. It's pretty consistent. What I like is that like each entry kind of feels different, even
Mhm.
though the 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 timeline is the same, but they tackle like different feeling
Right.
vibes in each one, and I
Hmm.
appreciate that switching
True.
it up. Yeah.
Okay. Are you a fan of like the franchise or any of the movies?
Yeah. I remember seeing Bride of Chucky when I was like 8 years old
Hmm.
and loving that movie. And I think I went backwards and watched the. No, I think I seen part three, but I went backwards and watched them from the beginning after
Ooh.
that one.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while since I rewatched the franchise, the movie franchise, but that first one still holds like a very special place
Yeah,
in my heart, you know. But
I like
anything else?
I like that it's like a how it's funny, but it takes itself seriously, like the concept, even though it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. I dig that. I watched the first three episodes of I Know What You Did Last Summer, the
Ooh.
series,
Hmm.
and I had very very low expectations for
Yeah.
it. I don't know. It didn't really click with me, but I just gave it a watch, and I was
Hmm.
actually surprised. There's like a certain element added that really hooked me, and
Hmm.
I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I started watching that too. I only made it up to episode 2, and I was kind of interested in checking it out because even though I'm not like super crazy about the first one, I do like Lois Duncan, and Lois Duncan wrote the book and everything like that. Even
Yeah,
though the book really isn't like anything like the movie, but I just like her,
yeah,
liked her. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, checking out the series, I was wondering what they were going to do different, you know.
yeah,
So it's just kind of cool just to see. I like that they took no spoilers here, but I like that they're trying to take a new little approach
yeah,
there, you
yeah.
know. So yeah, and I've been hearing that as well. Like a lot of people have been saying the same thing, like you, like they went in with like low expectations, and it's just like they're enjoying it. So that's always so cool to
Yeah.
hear. So yeah, okay. Oh, what I've been watching? You didn't ask. Okay, I'll tell you. Um, yeah. Besides from Bad Girls Club, I watched the new Slumber Party Massacre, and that one's a lot of fun. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not like super crazy about the original one, the Slumber Party Massacre. I think it's great, you know, but it's just I'm not like yeah, but I'm kind of prefer the sequel. I
Okay.
know the sequel is
Yeah,
silly
yeah. It has
with the
like a
guitar.
following.
Right? It's just
Yeah,
it's fun. It's ridiculous. It makes me happy. But yeah, with this one, it's a lot of fun. And you know, sometimes I don't know. I've been having, especially like this month alone, it's been like super busy and everything like that. And sometimes you just want something fun to watch.
yeah,
So if you are looking for something fun that has like a lot of kills and bodies piling up and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and also the way that they showcase the males in it, you know what I mean? It's kind of it's funny. So I really enjoyed that one.
Um, I've seen people like compare it favorably to the Black Christmas remake.
Hmm.
I guess they tackle similar themes probably.
I personally, I've seen that too. I don't get that vibe.
Mm,
The only thing, and I don't want to spoil it. I mean, I could tell you like afterwards. Maybe there's like this one thing that's similar to it, but it doesn't because I feel like obviously those are like two different movies. I wasn't too crazy about the Black Christmas
mm.
one that came out recently. What was it, 2019?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too crazy about that one. You know, that one wasn't for me. But yeah, but Summer Party Massacre. That one, it didn't take itself too seriously, and that was a lot of fun.
I
Then
haven't
the
had
other
time to
thing,
check it out, but I've been meaning to watch it. I'm gonna check it out soon.
I think that you'll like it. I think that you'll enjoy it. And just the other thing I was watching real quick. This was like a rewatch, and I tweeted about this earlier. JD's Revenge. If you like blaxploitation, supernatural horror movies about revenge,
Yeah.
And people in the 70s. There's just something about the 70s, Shawn. I'm just so in love with it. I feel like I missed out. I wish I could have been around. I could have been a foxy lady, but it's fine. But no, it was just a really good movie. I think that was probably one of my first blaxploitation movies I've watched. So
I need to. That's been on my list for a while to rewatch. But it's on. Where did you watch it?
It's on Shudder.
Okay.
Right, Shudder. They're doing so great. You're doing great, sweetie. But okay, so now we're about to dive into our list. Do you have your drink ready? Do you have a snack?
I have some water.
Okay, so I have water too. It's important to stay hydrated. But then I also have my strawberry cup, and it has iced tea in it. Okay. But then I wasn't too sure if I wanted that. So I also have a Capri Sun, because I took the straw from the Capri Sun. I couldn't just leave it in the fridge. So yeah. I had to take that. And then I had Gushers, but I ate it. So we're ready, though. We are ready to, dive into our list. You're going to go first.
Okay.
Because you're Shawn, you're the guest.
Okay. So. All right. First, I want to talk about Infection from 2004. And like I was saying before, it came sort of around the time where all the Tarnasian extreme films came out, and then Lionsgate had a line out too that included Infection and this other movie called Premonition. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what happened to that line. I feel that those were the only two they released, and it was a big deal because I remember going to horror conventions and seeing the poster for Infection. Mm-hmm. But it's it's at this desolate hospital that's it's not the main hospital. It's it looks all grungy. Mm-hmm. And they're sparsely staffed, and there's a issue where this person comes in, and it ends up being a medical malpractice mm-hmm. thing. And then at the same time, they get in a patient who's needs to be quarantined, but they refuse it because they have so much going on. And then they end up, the ambulance just leaves the body there, and it starts infecting all the people, all the staff, and causing them to act all weird. And it gets very body horror. Ooh. It's an infection movie, but it feels like a ghost or a possession movie because how right. it affects the people. It just has this really weird, eerie tone. I love the score mm-hmm. and the use of green and green and red to mm-hmm. Symbolize life and death. And if you like body horror, it gets really gross. If you're into bodies dissolving into green goo, if that's your thing, I recommend this.
Okay. So let me just play the trailer for us real quick, and then we'll come back, and I want to just kind of get your when you first checked it out, when you first checked it out, what were your thoughts on it?
Okay.
Ooh. Oh, so okay. What were your thoughts?
I just thought it was really creepy. It has a very interesting feel to it. Almost, mm-hmm. It starts off and it feels almost like a twisted episode of ER because it's a lot with the interactions with the staff working at the hospital, mm-hmm. and right away, there's like before the infection even gets there, there's just certain people acting really weird or almost like almost like the hospital slowly like morphing into like an alternate reality kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And I just dug the vibe of it.
Yeah.
It's like a twisted Twilight Zone episode of ER.
Ooh. Yeah, when I was just looking at some of the images, I don't think I've seen this one
Mm,
before. But when you were talking about like it having like, some green, there's a lot of green goo.
yeah,
I noticed in some images, but it looks creepy,
yeah.
so I definitely want to check it out. I don't see it streaming anywhere. Well, is it on Amazon?
I didn't check. I have the
Yeah.
DVD, but I know Canopy. I don't know if they have it, but Canopy has a lot of like those films from like the early 2000s, those like Asian horror films from the early 2000s. They have a lot of them.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is their.
Well, can I have yours?
I can check to see.
No,
Okay.
it's fine. No, I'll because it looks really cool. Like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's I'm someone I like. When I'm buying DVDs or Blu-rays, I don't mind buying like blind buys.
yeah, yeah,
Because sometimes it could be like the best movie, and it's so weird. Like because around like 2004, that's when I was like really watching, a lot of like Asian horror. But no, I don't think that I've seen that one. So.
yeah.
Okay, look at you, fancy pants, with your great pick.
It's just cool
Okay,
that they treat like an infection almost like a possession story, or
that's
like
true.
how it infects the people.
True. Okay, so I guess I'll give mine. Now I feel insecure about mine. So I'm gonna go with one that we always hear about. Oh, we hear about it pretty often, and that is A Tale of Two Sisters.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? So this is one of my favorite South Korean horror movies. And I don't know, I just feel like it's just such a beautiful movie. It's so dramatic. There's so much trauma, and it's basically about this family that is dealing with trauma. And I feel like this is, we do now often we get a lot of horror dramas, but I've never seen one. Not saying that we don't have any. I'm just saying I don't recall seeing any in the early 2000s, like a movie that was like that one.
Yeah.
And this one is very much psychological. So, meaning some of the stuff is just all in your head, like the director, like just the way they would build up the story. It made it sometimes seem like, okay, well, there's actually something there, but it's not. But you know what I mean? Like one where they like really building it up. And I don't know, they were able to like really get into my head when it came to that. So, but yeah, I had to have this one on the list because it's a beautiful movie and it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that you've seen that one, but it's just.
I love Tale of Two Sisters, and I'm a big fan of the director Kim Ji-woon. I love that it's not just like it's not just on paper, it's not just in the script. He uses filmmaking to tell the story in every single like shot is giving you information, and it's really well done.
Yeah.
Even just like the house is a character in itself.
That's so true.
And then like using colors to give you hints into like what's going on, or like the way someone's framed in the shot will give you like it's almost like he's hinting at what's really going on, even though you're confused.
Right.
It's almost like plainly there while you're
It
watching.
is, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when we won't, again, no spoilers here, but this movie, it does have a twist. And honestly, I didn't see it coming at all. And that's something that I love. But then, like you said, when you go back and you rewatch it, he's kind of showcasing that.
Yeah.
but I know for myself though, I was distracted. I was distracted with a certain character. I was distracted with the house, so
Yeah.
there was like a lot. And I know that they never said that this one was that The Uninvited starring Emily Browning, they never said that, oh, it's a remake. They never said that, but that it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I mean, I don't mind the movie. I don't hate it or anything like that, because I really like Emily Browning. So that was one of the reasons why I checked it out. And from the trailer, I remember when it came out, I was like, are they, copying or, remaking or whatever, A Tale of Two Sisters, but they never really announced it, They never said anything on it. But I don't know. There was just something again about this movie that just draws you in. So
I don't hate the remake. I think it's not terrible. It's very simplified.
Yeah.
Version of it, but it's not awful.
Right. And it's just like, it had like a little twist going on too, But because we saw I'm pretty sure it was like this with you too, because you watched A Tale of Two Sisters, like the original, you knew where it was going. So I wasn't like surprised or anything like that. So,
Yeah.
But okay, before we move on to yours, I'm just gonna play like the trailer.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
그날 무슨 일이 일어났던 거지?
Oh my god. Whoa, yeah, I remember that line.
Doesn't that just make you want to rewatch it?
Yes. Yes, it does. Oh my gosh. Okay. Before we move on to just your next movie, just a quick question, because we always had conversations before, so we're gonna talk a little bit more. How did you because I know that you write and you direct your own movies. So how did you get into that?
For a long time, I just considered myself a writer. I've been writing like scripts since I was 12, and I always had like positive feedback from that, and like was in competitions and stuff, and that was just my lane. That's what I wanted to focus on. But then I got into college and had like a new group of friends, and they all wanted to make a movie, and they wanted to use one of my scripts. And I don't know, I just felt weird about somebody else doing something I wrote. So I was encouraged to direct it myself, and through that process, I kind of fell in love with directing also, even though like I am like a writer first.
Right. Okay. Well, that's still pretty awesome. Do you remember one of the first things or scripts or stories that you ever wrote?
Oh man, it's terrible. I still have it. I was 12 years old and I wrote this script called Slayers Club. And it was like Power Rangers. it was like Power Rangers and like Buffy or something.
That sounds cool.
It was
kinda,
so bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
You still have it?
Yeah, I still have it. I can't read it. I can't read it though. It's so bad.
Can I read it?
Absolutely not.
No judgment, but okay. All right. So all right. So you gave us your first pick, Infection from 2004.
Yeah.
So now we're ready for your second pick.
My second pick is Tetsuo the Iron Man from 1989, directed by Shinya Tsukamoto.
Okay.
I just think it's kind of inspiring because it was like a low budget film, and he did a lot of it himself, and it's just like overwhelming from the moment you start the film. Just the look of it, like all that must have went into creating this, just even just like fabricating all of the prosthetics. It's this man hits this person's called the metal fetishist, and he like slices open his leg and sticks things in his body, and is obsessed with like metal. And the man who hit him, it was a hit and run, and then he ends up sort of being haunted by I don't really know if he's uh, dead or alive or like an entity, but he ends up infecting this man and turning him into like this metal being, and it sort of becomes like a it's like a fight between the two of them. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
There are moments in this that feel iconic to me. Like there's a battle between this woman and the man going back. Like it's hard to explain because it's so off the wall. And have you seen this before?
I don't think I have. Like when you mentioned it, it was like I was gonna watch it last night because have I? I think I have.
Like it looks like art. It's like an art film.
I'm pretty sure that I have, but maybe I think it's been a while. So
I recommend it. It's unlike anything you've seen before. Just talk about like body horror. It just I can't even. It's hard to describe because it's so off the wall. But
and it's a series, right? Isn't there?
Yeah. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
But he had a lot more money for the second.
For the other ones.
Yeah.
Okay, let me play the trailer.
Okay.
Real quick so we can admire its beauty. Whoa! So I wanted to watch more of it. So
like there's a series of stop motion scenes that they're action scenes, and they're so cool to watch. It's like I haven't seen anything like that before. And just thinking about the effort that took and time it took to do that, and it's really cool. And he's made a lot of stuff. The director Shinya Tsukamoto. I bought like the Arrow box set. I haven't really dived into a lot of it, but I had seen his short films before, and it's always like really cool and inventive. Stuff. I'm a fan.
See, now I feel like I have, because I think I only watched the first one, and I remember that it was that there's more than 1, 3 or 4 sequels.
There's like I know there's at least 3 of them.
Okay. All right, cool beans. Look at you getting creative with your picks. I feel I don't know if I was as diverse with my picks like yours, but that's fine.
I like you. I loved your first pick.
You do, and you hated the rest of them.
No, I know.
Okay.
I'm just saying up until now. I'm pretending I don't know what you're gonna pick.
All right. So Shawn already, for those of you who just joined us, hello. Shawn already told us his 2 picks. Infection, 2004. Tetsu, the Iron Person. I know it's not called Iron Man. Yeah. That's what I said, man. I didn't say person. So those are his first 2 picks. My first pick, A Tale of Two Sisters, because it's beautiful and I love it. So I'm about to tell you guys my second pick, and I'm trying to see which direction I want to go to, but I'm going to go with the Hong Kong slasher Dream Home from 2010. And this one is actually on Shudder right now as well. For the longest time, it was streaming on, I think, Amazon briefly, and then it went away like ASAP. But basically, this woman, she's just desperate for her dream home. She found this like beautiful, like high-rise apartment, It's like she's been working hard, working a job that she hates. She pretty much lives someplace that isn't too nice. And she feels like, you know what? She deserves nice things. And that's what she wants. So she basically does whatever it takes to, you know, get what she wants. So, and the funny thing is that when I was pretty late to watching this one. I think I maybe watched it back in 2014 or 15. Because I think that's when it was actually when it became available over here, you know. But yeah, if you do like slashers, but this is for you. But just a fair warning, this one is very much extreme. It is so. Oh, I see you shaking your head, Sean. It is. It's so extreme. It's brutal. There's some horrible things that happen that'll make you cringe. I did a couple of times. I don't want to spoil it. You know, so, but yeah, Sean, have you seen this one? You love it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is one that I blind bought. There was a Hong Kong Blu-ray of it, and I heard about it, and I bought the Blu-ray, and I was shocked. Like, it's so extreme, like so messed up and over the top, and I feel bad because it's so, like, the things she does to people is so out of, like, just disrespectful that I was laughing. Yeah. It made me laugh, but not because it was funny, but just because it's so hardcore.
Mm-hmm. It was very hard. There were some scenes that made me laugh too, but at the same time, it's just like, can you imagine? Like, I don't want to imagine, but can you imagine if someone, you know, if someone's trying to attack you and then their motive is because they just want to live there? Like,
she just really wanted that apartment. She
did. She did. So, but yeah, let me just play.
She's really good in that.
She is Josie Ho. That's her name. She's amazing. Like, but yeah, again, if you want to see something brutal, full of blood, that'll make you cringe, that may make you laugh, that may make you feel uncomfortable. I've seen, you know, a couple of horror no-nos. You know what I mean? There's some horror no-nos in there. Besides from like someone, one of the horror no-nos basically killing a child, you know? But I'll leave it right there, you know, because again, you know, no spoilers, but let me just play the trailer and then we'll go from there. You know, just seeing all that craziness. It's insane.
The structure is very interesting too, because it starts with her at a certain point, but then there's constant flashbacks to her life and her growing up. So you really get to know her as a character, but at the same time, you're like, I get it, but you're kind of, I don't know. That was maybe a little extreme.
That's how I felt. Like, that was very much extreme. I would never, but you know, she was working extremely hard. And then at the end of the day, every single time people were bamboozling her or screwing her over and she could never win. And she felt that she went the right route. And as the viewer, she did go the right route. You know, I would never go on a killing spree, you know, but she did, and she made a lot of sacrifices, personal sacrifices. Again, no spoilers at all. But yeah, if you want to get your world rocked, we highly recommend, you know, Dream Home. It's available on Shudder. But before we do move on, we do have some comments. So, first one, you can see it, right?
Yeah.
There you go. That's for you from Mr. Dan and Hora. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Dan and Hora.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love Tetsuo.
It's a good time. Then we also have an awesome comment from T. Reed. Reed, I love A Tale of Two Sisters in Dream Home. I know this person, and that's my sister. Thank you, girl. We have she just has such a great taste. Oh my God. Then we have two more from Mr. Dan in horror. He too enjoys Dream Home. The taste is phenomenal. And as a guy, I felt that one scene.
Yeah.
And I know what scene he's talking about that we just showed. So yeah. But all right. So we're about to get into our final ones, but we do have some bonuses. I know that Shawn has a lot of bonuses because he's fancy. So but yeah. You could you give us a recap again, and then you can reveal to us your top pick.
My first pick was Infection. Number 2 was Tetsuo the Iron Man, and my final pick is I Saw the Devil.
Ooh.
Also directed by Kim Ji-woon, who directed A Tale of Two Sisters.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
it follows Lee Byung-hun plays a cop after his wife is brutally murdered by a serial killer played by Choi Min-sik, and it's a revenge tale, but with a few twists. So he catches the killer far sooner than you think, and it's sort of a cat and mouse between him sort of playing a catch and release game. So he catches him and harms him and then watches him to see if he's going to do anything else. And it's sort of a back and forth cat and mouse between a cop out for revenge and a very evil serial killer, and sort of them kind of one-upping each other. And I was hesitant, even though I love this movie. I was kind of hesitant because I know some people don't consider it horror, but it's so horrific.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of horror elements.
The violence it's so viscerally violent, like more than a lot of movies I've seen. And every time you're following the killer, you're at least I was so afraid for the person he's targeting, and it's very brutal.
It is.
And I just love we've seen a lot of revenge stories, but I just love the sort of back and forth how this one plays out. And the two actors, Lee Byung-hun and Choi Min-sik, I'm a big fan of them. Choi Min-sik was Old Boy, and Lee Byung-hun has been in a lot of great films. So this came out in like 2010, 2011, and around that time I really started to get more into Korean films, not just horror, but like in general.
Yeah.
And there was a theater that opened up called CGV, and they play a lot of Korean films with like English subtitles. And I saw this. It was like there was like an old couple, like 5 older people sitting in front of me, and immediately during like the first really messed up scene, they all got up and walked out of the.
Oh my God! But you
say, I like what did I was confused. Like, what did you watch the trailer? Like, what? It is pretty full on though, but yeah,
that's true. I think, like you said, like even with the trailer though, like you said, the trailer is pretty brutal. So I don't know. Maybe they went in blind. They probably just thought, oh, it's just gonna be a thriller, cat and mouse game, and it was.
Also, I've showed this to some friends, and sometimes as like a horror fan, you forget that normal people aren't used to seeing such like craziness, because people are like really affected by the brutality of this movie.
Yeah, I've noticed, but yeah, it took me a while to watch this one because it's been on Netflix now for a while, right? Yeah. So I think I watched it maybe 2015. But yeah, kind of like what you said. Like I think that it is very brutal, and I can see why some people may feel, or well, they don't feel like it's a horror movie. But then at the same time, it's just like you said, because it's so. It's very much an aggressive movie.
There's cannibals and like
right. So, but yeah. But all right, let's play the trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to give away too much.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I you know, even with the trailer, I'm always like, if I recommend a movie to someone, you know, you can check out the trailer, but you know, sometimes some trailers they give away too much. So I just kind of wanted to give people just a little snippet,
there's a scene in a taxi in this movie that's incredible. Like how I think you know which one I'm talking about, where it's just okay, like 5 people in a taxi cab with knives. That's all. That's all I'll say.
That's all. And that's not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're gonna move to your bonus in just a bit. I was just going to give my last pick and then bonus. So the first one I picked, A Tale of Two Sisters, and then I went with Dream Home. You know, so you know, A Tale of Two Sisters, very emotional, psychological horror, and then Dream Home, very brutal and bloody, and just, you know, it's about a woman following her dreams ultimately. You know. So the final one I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about The Call, aka Call. So this one's on Netflix, and it's been on Netflix now for like about a year. And so I kind of went into this movie blind. I just remember one day it just popped up on Netflix, and the lead actress, she's in a lot of Korean dramas. Park Shin-hye. I don't know if you ever. Well, are you a Korean drama fan?
I haven't watched a lot, but I've seen a few. I'm not like an avid watcher.
Okay.
Not for any reason. They're very like the episodes are over hour long, so it's a commitment. But I have watched a few.
Okay. She's in one of my favorite ones called Heirs. And basically, she's just before I tell you about the movie, there's a purpose with this, I promise. So I really love Korean dramas. If you ever want to lose your mind, I highly recommend watching a Korean drama, because their drama is so insane sometimes. You know, it's like it's like a soap opera, right? But it's like times 10, because the extreme stuff happened. But anyway, with the show called Heirs, she plays this character, and her mom's a maid, and they got kicked out of their house, and her sister ran off to America to be with a surfer. And then, you know, they're back in Korea and they're poor. And then she's staying now at her mom's client house, who just so happens to be like this really rich guy who's attractive, and he finds her attractive. He wants to be with her. But then there's another rich guy who wants to be with her too. And she goes to this fancy school, you know, and she's always crying. Like every day of her life, this girl is crying. Oh, you know, and it's just like, come on, what happened now? But I'm intrigued. I can't cut it off. Like, even though, and you're right, sometimes the episodes can be like an hour and 20, an hour and 5. Sometimes they'll go under, but there's just something about it where it's just, I need to know what happened. But besides from Korean drama, she was also in #Alive that's on Netflix as well.
Yeah.
So I really like her. She's a really great actress. Yeah. But with this movie, The Call, you know, I remember one day it just popped up on Netflix, and I just fell in love with it. It was actually one of my favorite movies from last year, you know. I was thinking about doing a list, but I mean, we're already in 2021, so why? So I moved on, you know, maybe this year. But yeah, it's basically about these women who are pretty much like 20 years apart, and they have like this connection through the phone, and they can change their fate, you know?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what they do. But then things just kind of go worse. You can see it happening. You can see how it can turn sour because one of them is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Clear as day. She's not stable. But yeah, it's one of those movies I highly recommend because it did surprise me. And because initially I did watch it because I like the actress.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just also a very beautiful film.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. I really enjoyed it. I do think it's loosely based on a movie called The Caller from
Ooh,
yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Pretty solid thriller. And I do like that actress as well. She's really good.
She is, right? God, you think that she'll hang out with us? Maybe. I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna play the trailer.
거기 오늘이 며칠이라고 했지?
내가 말이야, 너희 아빠를 내가 다시 살릴 수도 있지 않을까?
Wow. Okay, yeah. So I didn't want to play too much for that one, but yeah, it's a very beautiful movie, and it kind of started off. I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, you can kind of tell that one of the women, she's not stable, so you can see where it's going to head.
Yeah,
it goes in that direction, but it also goes not as extreme like as some of the movies that we talked about on our list, but it was still like bad where you kind of like felt for her, you know?
Yeah. So, there she really goes like in terms of how unstable towards the end, like kind of out there.
Okay, see, we're on the same page. All right, so now we're about to get into some bonuses because Shawn Kelley, he has a list. You can't just call him Shawn. You have to call him Shawn Kelley Jr. So, but no, I know that you have some bonuses that you want to share with us.
Pulse from, I don't know what year was that,
19...
but it was like early 2000s, I think. Pulse. I want to talk about that.
I said 19 something. I'm thinking about the American Pulse.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. So I thought the first time I saw this movie, I was really like creeped out. I thought it was very scary. But now I see it as kind of it's very relatable because you have like these characters, this like entity or whatever it is infects these people, and it's sort of like it sort of plays on like the isolation of being on the internet and how you lose track of like real interactions with people, and like what it's like constantly affecting one from the other. And I think especially like now, that's really relatable, even more so when it came out. And I just like how even the look of the film is so like kind of drab on purpose, and how the characters are like just going about like this infection has happened, but it's almost like subtle. And I really enjoy when the scares happen. They're really different from how I've seen it in a film before. Like there's one with like this ghost who's moving in slow motion and is like stumbling, and just the soundtrack is almost like overbearing. And I just like the feel of this film.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I feel like still to this day, this one is so creepy.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, you know, it's not saying like, you know, movies, of course, they get dated, you know, but it's just crazy to me how that creepiness that creepy appeal is still very much fresh.
Yeah,
So.
even though it's of its time, I feel like it's still feels fresh because it's still current because people are still
right
going through that or like feeling dissociated from life because of like how they're connected to people through technology but not like actually in person.
Right. Cops coming for you, Shawn.
Oh man.
No, okay, that was horrible. Okay, but let me just play the trailer. See, that one, yeah, I'm telling you, like it's still creepy. So that's a good one. That is a good one. I'm not gonna lie, that one was going to be on my list.
Okay.
But and just so everyone know, we did exchange lists and everything like that because I didn't want that happening. But I'm glad that it was on your list. See, I knew that you had great taste. So
have you seen the remake?
Yeah. But wait, you were so mean. But no, wait, I like Kristen Bell and I really like Christina Milian. I don't mind it, but it was just kind of like what happened. Like, I don't know. Like it like maybe it should have just been like a different movie. Just call it something else. I think
they missed the point with that one.
Yeah. Remember we used to get movies like that often? There was this other movie that was kind of like that came out maybe a couple of years ago. I mean, clearly, more than a couple. Maybe it was like 2010 or 12. But it's basically about this girl who has an app on her phone, but she deletes it, and then everybody who has the app, they get infected, and it's like a New Year's Eve theme.
Was it Countdown?
No, not Countdown. It was. Countdown is recent, yeah. Which I actually liked Countdown. I know everybody was just like trying to trash it, but I thought it was a good time. So you want to fight about it? Like you?
No, there's like a group of movies that come out that aren't aimed at certain people. Like they're like they kind of feel like Goosebumps or like aimed at like a younger audience, but people go in expecting something different and are disappointed. Like Wish Upon feels like a Goosebumps episode.
It does. And you know what? I really like that one. I remember one time I tweeted about it. I wasn't trying to be like offensive. Like, I just kind of feel like the way that they marketed the movie, it was just kind of like you guys made it seem like it was going to be something else. And so I think that when people went in, they were just like, they didn't like it. But I like that movie. Yeah. I thought it was a good time. And I would check out the sequel. We should pitch him a sequel.
Oh, I thought you said there was a sequel.
No. I would like for there to be one because it makes sense that there would be one. It could be a prequel.
Yeah.
What are you hate it?
No, I liked it. It was fun. I enjoyed it as like a kids movie, It felt like a Goosebumps episode.
Yes, people who are getting into horror, young adults and stuff that. Okay. All right. So my bonus, I'm going to go with Thirst.
Yeah.
Because this movie is magical, and I feel like I always bring it up all the time. Like I feel like that's just like the best way for me to explain it. If you like horror romances, this one could be for you. It's basically about this priest who pretty much he turns into a vampire, and at first, he's resistant, but then he just gives in, and there's a lot of shady characters. A lot of shady characters in this one. And when I say that it's magical, I really do feel like it is. It does have like a whimsical type of feel to it. Like I know people will talk about, like cosmic horror. No, this one is magical. Like there's this. Oh my God, you have it!
Yeah.
Wow, you are always bragging. Look at you.
What were you saying? Sorry.
No, what were you? Where'd you get that from?
It's the Korean Blu-ray release of it.
Wow, open it.
Okay.
Ooh. It is so beautiful.
I really like this movie. I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in like 8 years.
Yes.
But it's Park Chan-wook who's like a master.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait for his new movie coming out soon.
What's his new movie?
It's called The Decision to Leave. It's supposed to. I don't know if it's still coming out. It was supposed to come out at the end of the year, I think, but I don't think movies have been coming out in Korea lately.
Oh.
But I'm excited to see that. But yeah, Thirst is really cool. I like it a lot.
See, this is why we're friends, because you have great taste and we can talk about movies. But let me just show the trailer real quick.
사람 살리는 일을 하고 싶어요. 이렇게 자꾸 보내기만 하자니 괴로워 죽겠습니다.
Doesn't it look great?
Yeah, I need to rewatch that for real. Like I'm gonna watch that in the next few days.
Yes, please do, and let me know how you feel about it and stuff like that. But okay, so we're gonna do a quick recap.
Okay.
For you, just all your stuff, and then I'll do the same thing. And then if you have any other Asian horror recommendations that you feel that people need to watch if they want to get their dreams just haunted.
Okay. So I start.
Yes.
Okay. I chose Infection. I have all the DVD cases.
Okay.
Infection.
Smart. Wow.
And then Tetsuo, the Iron Man.
Ooh.
And then I chose I Saw the Devil.
Nice.
And as a bonus, I picked Pulse.
Oh, that's a nice case.
It's the Arrow release.
Fancy.
What next? I don't know. Okay. I don't know. Can you go first?
Okay. Well, I'm not fancy like you. I have A Tale of Two Sisters, but I didn't think to grab it, and I don't want to go grab it. I'm looking for it and stuff. So, first one I picked A Tale of Two Sisters. The second one I picked Dream Home. Then the third one, The Call, aka Call. And then as a bonus, I picked Thirst. So, but I'm not fancy like Shawn. I have cases. I mean, I need to step my game up. Like, gosh, I bet your collection is something, isn't it?
I have a lot of movies.
Wow. Okay, so because I feel like just real quick, the reason why with Shawn Kelley that I invited him on to talk about like Asian horror movies is because I think that's I don't remember how we became friends or how we started talking, but I remember you were always watching like some like an Asian horror movie. And with some of them, like I've never heard of it before in my life. And so I wanted to be like you. So that's what happens. You become friends with someone and then they'll tell you all their secrets, all their horror movie secrets. And you did. There were a lot of movies that you put me on to check out and stuff like that. There was this one, I think it was you who told me about that, the movie Tag.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, which I know that one is weird, but I like that one. You know, you just had it like you sent me like the trailer and I knew it was like that bus scene.
Yeah.
And I had to see it. I knew it. Then you sent me another one about these kids in a school and there was something going on in the school.
Oh, As the God's Will, where they were like it's kind of like same as Squid Game, same like a death game type.
Yeah, movie. So you just put me onto a lot. And then even with that too, that's, you know, it's a non-Asian horror, but you put me onto the show Chewing Gum.
Oh, Chewing Gum. Oh my God. I cry laughing every time I watch that show. It's hilarious.
Yeah, because I remember they added it on Netflix, and I don't know. I just, you get so much content, so I didn't really know what to watch. But then I lost my mind when you posted a clip. I think it was obviously it was from the first season, and it was the guy that she was dating, but he really didn't care for her, and he was always just giving her dirty looks,
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, but thank you for your love for like horror, but even just I love when people give me recommendations.
No problem. I appreciate you inviting me to talk about these movies.
Okay. All right, come on. We need some fancy Shawn recommendations.
Okay. The problem is I don't know if this is streaming or not, but
It's okay.
I am a hero.
Ooh.
It's a Japanese zombie film. I know we're kind of tired of zombie properties, but it's based on like a manga, and the thing I like about this is that the main character is a coward. And as much as I would like to think I'd be like very heroic and jumping into situations, most likely I'd be like Roger in Night of the Demons.
Me too.
It's like taking off at any sign of danger, and he does like grow throughout the film to where he's more brave, but it's kind of funny how he just walks away from situations and survives. But there's also like really cool horror action set pieces in the movie that I was not expecting that are really cool. And yeah, I recommend it.
Awesome stuff.
Do you have any other recommendations?
No, Shawn, because I'm not fancy. So no, I don't have any Asian horror recommendations.
I was looking at the comments, and someone brought up PMOC, and that's a really good like horror comedy. It's from one of the directors of Shudder. And it's very funny, but they take like the horror seriously as well. And he also directed Phobia.
I've seen Phobia.
Yeah, the Thai. He directed one of the segments in that, and yeah. Oh, what's the? I haven't watched it yet. There's a new Thai Korean horror movie that came out on Shudder recently.
Oh, The Medium.
Yeah, he directed that too.
I haven't watched it yet. Yeah, I should have watched it. I'm gonna recommend it. I didn't watch it though. No, I haven't watched it. It is on my list, and I don't know if it's like a comedy horror, but it's like Mama Monsters.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to watch that.
Yeah,
how was that?
It's really cute. All right, it's really cute. I think it's cute. It made me laugh. So, but yeah, that's my one recommendation. That's it. Yeah. Extra. Do you have any more for us?
Yeah, Bedeviled.
Ooh.
Have you seen Bedeviled?
No.
Okay, if you like Dream Home, I think you should watch Bedeviled. It's sort of like it's kind of like, it's very frustrating. Like, you're going to be so angry because this woman gets fired or dismissed from her job, and she goes to visit her friend on the island she grew up on. But they're all sort of like these really mean. They're really mean to her friend and are bullying her constantly, and it's just a buildup, kind of like Carrie. Carrie. It's sort of like this buildup of people, like this entire island ganging up on this one woman, and until she snaps. And then, like, the first half of the movie is almost not really horror, but it really, like, her when she snaps, it's like very intense. And yeah, I think you like it. I would recommend that.
Okay.
I almost picked this as like one of my top picks. It's really good.
I add it to my list right now. Let's see if it's streaming anywhere.
Wellgo USA put it out, so I think it should be streaming.
Okay. And that's the one from 2016? No.
That's
a different one.
Yeah, 2 L's.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's a different one. Okay. And what about you were gonna pick this other movie?
Oh yeah. Dorm.
Mhm.
Dorm. It's a Thai coming of age horror movie.
Yeah.
And it's kind of similar to The Devil's Backbone. This kid is sent away to a boarding school where there's like a ghost story about this kid who died,
Yeah.
and it's sort of him dealing with like sent away to this new environment and making this friend and dealing with like how he factors into whatever. I don't want to give away too much. There's like there's something to do with a ghost in that school, and he's kind of directly involved in it. And it's not. It's kind of like a kids horror movie. It's not super scary, but it's very almost like heartfelt the way it
I was gonna say
pans out.
It is, and I do have the trailer for that one, so I'll play that real quick.
หอนด้วยจำไว้นะ คืนไหนมาหอนพร้อมกัน ห้ามไปห้องน้ำเด็ดขาด
Yeah.
We have some comments. Some people are recommending stuff.
Oh, I love recommendations. So this first comment, you actually mentioned this at first when we first started the live.
I love Juon. Like that whole series is very influential. I love it.
Yes. And then also Death Bell is awesome.
Yeah. There's I haven't seen part 2. I haven't seen part. I know
I haven't seen that one neither. Yeah. Let's see what else.
Gonjiam. Yeah, I really liked that movie. I saw that in a packed theater, and they were really into it, and it was a lot of fun.
Good though.
Yeah.
It was good. And sometimes with found footage movies, it's kind of like, why are they still there type of thing. I mean, I would have been long. I wouldn't have never, but it made sense as to why, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In some ways. So I don't know if I would do all that, but yeah. Have you ever seen this one?
What? Grotesque? Yeah, I've seen that.
Okay.
Movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
It's very torture. There's a lot of torture and yeah.
Okay. No worries. Okay.
Also there's this movie on Netflix called Time to Hunt. It's kind of a dark thriller, but it's just so suspenseful. These kids like rob a place and that a killer sent after to find them, and it's really, really suspenseful. I like that one a lot.
So how long have you been collecting, or like with your movie collection, how long have you been building it up?
I think I started with you remember Columbia House? And so I think I got that in 99. And I think that's when I got my first DVD. So I've been collecting ever since then.
Good for you. And then we also have another comment. This was actually one of Sean's picks. He actually picked Pulse. We talked about that one, and we talked about his feelings about the remake from 2006. So you made me laugh because you asked me. I was kind of hoping you wouldn't, but it's fine. But all right, yeah. So that's our list. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Enjoyed the recommendations and stuff like that. Next time, I'll try to, for our next list or something, I'll try to make sure I have physical copies, so I can do with you.
No, that's just me trying not to be anxious, so I have something physical to look at. So I know what to pick.
Okay, but yeah, that's good. This was a lot of fun, and thank you again so much for your time, and thank you guys so much for watching and your comments and your recommendations. I actually did add some to my list for me to check out because I love it when people give me movie recommendations. Because it can be like there's so many places to like stream things. Oh, so many things to watch, and you kind of just get overwhelmed. So, but if someone's just giving me some stuff.
It's a lot of stuff isn't available to stream though, and that's disappointing because there's so much like good stuff that you can't find.
But you also, I feel like you're just rubbing it in our faces that you're fancy.
No,
like these fancy movies.
No,
but it's fine. I knew that you would come with the goods and just put a shame to my name, Real Queen of Horror Who, like. So, but it's fine. But all right, we're gonna end this. So thank you guys so much. Be sure to follow Shawn Kelley Jr. on Twitter. That is his Twitter account. He says you post some funny stuff sometimes. I don't know. I have to. Okay, I'll wait till because it's a little bit explicit. You posted something. This was a while ago, but it lives rent free in my head. But it made me laugh. So, but anyway, also he's on Instagram, and you have 2 Instagram accounts.
Yeah.
But I didn't know which one. It's the same as like your handle's the same as your Twitter account. The other one.
Yeah.
This is the other one.
Yeah.
And you could check out his portfolio, see his photography and stuff. So yeah.
Thank you for having me on here.
Of course. Anything you'd like to tell everyone before we go?
It's been fun. Just if you want to talk about horror movies, I'm up for that. Just message me. And I've been writing a lot. Hopefully I have some more films to talk about.
Yes.
Soon.
Okay. All right. Bye everybody.